Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A message that makes a pledge. The trait of sincere and steadfast fixity of purpose. A man of energy and commitment. The official act of consigning a person to confinement, as in a prison or mental hospital. The act of binding yourself, intellectually or emotionally, to a course of action. His long commitment to public service. An engagement by contract involving financial obligation. His business commitments took him to London. A message that makes a pledge. A short message, as in a book or musical work or on a photograph, dedicating it to someone or something. The act of binding yourself, intellectually or emotionally, to a course of action. A ceremony in which something, as a building, is dedicated to some goal or purpose. Complete and wholehearted fidelity. The trait of sincere and steadfast fixity of purpose. The act of committing a crime. The official act of consigning a person to confinement, as in a prison or mental hospital. Goods carried by a large vehicle. The official act of consigning a person to confinement, as in a prison or mental hospital. The delivery of goods for sale or disposal. The loyalty that citizens owe to their country, or subjects to their sovereign. The act of binding yourself, intellectually or emotionally, to a course of action. The quality of being loyal. The act of binding yourself, intellectually or emotionally, to a course of action. They felt no loyalty to a losing team. Feelings of allegiance. What a communication that is about something is about. A communication, usually brief, that is written or spoken or signaled. He sent a 3-word message. Send a message. Send a message to. She messaged the committee. Send as a message. She messaged the final report by fax. The state of being contented with your situation in life. He relaxed in sleepy contentedness. The amount that can be contained. What a communication that is about something is about. Satisfied or showing satisfaction with things as they are. A contented smile. The sum or range of what has been perceived, discovered, or learned. Something, a person or object or scene, selected by an artist or photographer for graphic representation. Usually plural, everything that is included in a collection and that is held or included in something. He emptied the contents of his pockets. Make content. I am contented. Satisfy in a limited way. He contented himself with 1 glass of beer per day. The proportion of a substance that is contained in a mixture or alloy, etc. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. Considerable capital, wealth or income. The idea that is intended. What a communication that is about something is about. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. A particular kind or species of matter with uniform properties. Shigella is one of the most toxic substances known to man. Material of a particular kind or constitution. The immune response recognizes invading substances. The real physical matter of which a person or thing consists. DNA is the substance of our genes. What a communication that is about something is about. The trait of being serious. The trait of being serious. A lack of solemnity is not necessarily a lack of seriousness. An earnest and sincere feeling. The quality of arousing fear or distress. He learned the seriousness of his illness. The trait of being serious. An earnest and sincere feeling. A quality of naturalness and simplicity. The simple sincerity of folk songs. The quality of being open and truthful, not deceitful or hypocritical. His sincerity inspired belief. The trait of being serious. An earnest and sincere feeling. The act of keeping something within specified bounds, by force if necessary. Concluding state of pregnancy. From the onset of contractions to the birth of a child. The act of restraining of a person's liberty by confining them. The state of being confined. He was held in confinement. Joint operation or action. Their cooperation with us was essential for the success of our mission. The practice of cooperating. Economic cooperation. A mutual promise to marry. The act of giving someone a job. Contact by fitting together. The engagement of the clutch. The act of sharing in the activities of a group. The teacher tried to increase his students' engagement in class activities. A hostile meeting of opposing military forces in the course of a war. He lost his romantic ideas about war when he got into a real engagement. Employment for performers or performing groups that lasts for a limited period of time. A meeting arranged in advance. Marked by elaborately complex detail. The action of enfolding something. The act of sharing in the activities of a group. The process of raising a quantity to some assigned power. A long and intricate and complicated grammatical construction. Reduction in size of an organ or part, as in the return of the uterus to normal size after childbirth. A usually secretive or illicit sexual relationship. The act of sharing in the activities of a group. The condition of sharing in common with others, as fellows or partners, etc. A sense of concern with and curiosity about someone or something. A connection of inclusion or containment. He escaped involvement in the accident. The act of sharing in the activities of a group. The condition of sharing in common with others, as fellows or partners, etc. A statement asserting the existence or the truth of something. The act of affirming or asserting or stating something. A judgment by a higher court that the judgment of a lower court was correct and should stand. Religion. A solemn declaration that serves the same purpose as an oath, if an oath is objectionable to the person on religious or ethical grounds. A binding commitment to do or give or refrain from something. An assurance of help when needed. Freedom from doubt. Belief in yourself and your abilities. His assurance in his superiority did not make him popular. A British term for some kinds of insurance. A statement intended to inspire confidence. The president's assurances were not respected. Profane or obscene expression, usually of surprise or anger. A commitment to tell the truth, especially in a court of law. To lie under oath is to become subject to prosecution for perjury. A solemn promise, usually invoking a divine witness, regarding your future acts or behavior. They took an oath of allegiance. A drink in honor of or to the health of a person or event. A binding commitment to do or give or refrain from something. Signed a pledge never to reveal the secret. Propose a toast to. Promise solemnly and formally. I pledge that I will honor my wife. Pay. An amount of money, as a contribution to a charity or service, especially at regular intervals. I pledged $10 a month to my favorite radio station. A deposit of personal property as security for a debt. His saxophone was in pledge. Bind or secure by a pledge. I was pledged to silence. Give as a guarantee. I pledge my honor. Someone accepted for membership but not yet fully admitted to the group. Make a prediction about. Tell in advance. Grounds for feeling hopeful about the future. There is little or no promise that he will recover. Make a promise or commitment. A verbal commitment by one person to another agreeing to do, or not to do, something in the future. Give grounds for expectations. The results promised fame and glory. Promise to undertake or give. I promise you my best effort. Profane or obscene expression, usually of surprise or anger. A commitment to tell the truth, especially in a court of law. To lie under oath is to become subject to prosecution for perjury. Money that is invested with an expectation of profit. The ceremonial act of clothing someone in the insignia of an office. The formal promotion of a person to an office or rank. The act of investing. Laying out money or capital in an enterprise with the expectation of profit. Outer layer or covering of an organ or part or organism. The act of putting on robes or vestments. The commitment of something other than money, time, energy, or effort, to a project with the expectation of some worthwhile result. This job calls for the investment of some hard thinking. A period of time spent in military service. The act of enlisting, as in a military service. Religious zeal. The willingness to serve God. Feelings of ardent love. Their devotion to each other was beautiful. Commitment to some purpose. The devotion of his time and wealth to science. Usually plural, religious observance or prayers, usually spoken silently. He returned to his devotions. A solemn commitment of your life or your time to some cherished purpose, to a service or a goal. His consecration to study. Religion. Sanctification of something by setting it apart, usually with religious rites, as dedicated to God. The cardinal attended the consecration of the church.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.